So our next question. Are you reading it? Hello you lovely people. It's Friday today. It's been a really good week actually. It's been a busy week, but it's been a good week. I'm actually going to do a Q&A video for you today, so I'm not going to natter on too much now, although I probably will because I always end up doing that. I just want to give you a little pony update because the horses are all really good, but it's been a really kind of eye-opening week. I will tell you why. So first of all, we'll do Ginger. Ginger's doing really well after he had his treatment from the chiropractor last week. He's been so much better. They're mowing the lawn, if you can hear that. That's what that noise is. We're not under attack. Yeah, he's been loads better. He's moving so much better. He's just great actually at the minute. I'm just so pleased with him. So he's brilliant. Apollo, he had a treatment on Monday because I felt like there was something not quite right with him. He just was starting to get really kind of grumpy about doing anything. He'd literally like walk up to the school with me with his face on, get in there, and everything I asked him to do, he'd have like an opinion on it. And I love horses having opinions, of course I do, but when it's consistently, I don't want to, you start to think, okay, maybe something's not right here. So anyway, we had him checked out on Monday and I was right, he was uncomfortable. He's got a lot of tightness, he did have a few issues, he's got a few things going on in his poll, which makes a lot of sense. The lady said he probably has quite a headache. So you can imagine, like, if you've got a banging headache and someone's telling you to do something, you're not going to be very happy about it. So it all makes complete sense, and everything she said about his back made complete sense. So yeah, that was really good. I'm really glad that we had that done. So he's had 2 days off, and then I played with him yesterday and he was amazing. He was just so good. And I think because my peace of mind was there to be able to push him a little bit and do a bit more with him. So she gave us some homework to do, but basically said to just continue what we're doing, but just do more, like really up it now, because he can do it, and actually he needs to get stronger and start using his body properly, because he can, but he just kind of gets into the habit of being a bit lazy with it, which yeah, so we can really combat that now, so we just need to do more. So we started on that last night. He was amazing. He was really good fun to play with. She's coming back in 2 weeks to see him. It'll be just over a week now, and see how he's getting on. And riding wise, I think we're going to have probably a few more weeks off of that, just to get his back stronger. And then Puzzle, oh my goodness, so I had a session with Puzzle on Wednesday that was like one of those, oh my god, how have I missed this moments. Like, you would not believe, if you follow my social media, you probably have seen that I did post something about it, but I've not explained it yet. So I've always kind of felt that I was missing something with Puzzle, and we were kind of getting by okay, but I just felt like there was something missing, because basically what would happen is everything I do with her, she's quite a nervous horse, she's a sensitive horse, and what she would do is do whatever it was that I taught her or whatever. It'd take 2 or 3 goes for her to understand it, and then she'd get it, but then the next day we kind of start back at square one again, and it might take less time to get there, but we seem to be on a little bit of a constant loop of like reminding her that she doesn't have to be scared of what we're doing. So on Wednesday when I played with her, I thought I'm just going to do like the basics. I'm literally going to just do all the things that we did right back at the beginning in the summer when I started working with her, and just see if I can find where the missing piece is, because usually you can find it within the basics of what you're doing. So I started that, I got about 20 minutes in, and it was like ding, you know, and a light bulb goes off, like a, oh my god, I get it, I know what it is. So I had to change locations. I'm taking you down to the field with me, because they were mowing right outside the barn, so I literally couldn't hear myself, let alone you be able to hear me. Anyway, so yeah, so I found out that Puzzle basically just doesn't connect. She doesn't connect to me, and she doesn't connect to the task that we're doing. And what I mean by that is she kind of mentally removes herself from the situation, and it's all part of her self-confidence thing. She just kind of takes herself away from whatever it is that we're doing, and the way that I notice this is because she very often looks away. So like she won't look directly at me, especially after we've just done something. She always looks away, and very often she'll just look away anyway, like even if she's, you know, bringing her in from the field, she kind of positions herself to where she's like that, as opposed to actually looking forwards, and it's just her mentally disconnecting herself from me, and it just makes so much sense as to all the different things that she does. So like the whole having to repeat myself so much with her, because if she's not actually mentally connected to the task or to me, she's not going to remember it, because she just kind of goes through the motions and does it without really thinking about it. And yeah, I really see it in a lot of her things now. Like when she's coming out of the field, very often, well, almost every day, she'll come out of the field and she runs through the gate. And it's been something that her owner says she's had a problem with for a while. But we have spent sessions where we have gone in and out of that gate 100 times, getting her relaxed, grazing her outside the gate so she's relaxed about it, all that kind of thing, and she'll get it, but then the next day it's back to square one. So it's kind of everything in her life she just mentally disconnects herself from. So it makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. And it's something that's actually quite simple, it's just I missed it for whatever reason, but anyway, I've got it now, so I feel like I can really help her because I've got the strategies to know what to do. And actually Wednesday's session was amazing once I realised that. We didn't do a lot, I just waited for her basically to actually look to me and be like, okay, I'm interested in you, what have you got for me? And it took a while, but we did get it in the end. And actually I just wanted to give her something really nice then, so I just was like, oh well actually I've just got a treat for you and let's go back to your field. So I might just do that for a little while. I'm planning to have a ride on her today, just to get her out. She's being hacked out by somebody else tomorrow, so I would like just to get her out so that she's been ridden, because she's not been ridden in a couple of weeks. But yeah, other than that, amazing. Like, I'm just so happy that I feel like maybe I've cracked it with her. So that's that. Anyway, so today, I hope I haven't blabbed on for too long. Today I'm doing Q&A, but I need to ride puzzle and play with the boys. So I'm going to kind of do the Q&A while I'm doing that, if it works. We'll see. She's getting it. Good girlie. Okay, so our first question. Would you like to try and combine your acting/singing with horses? If so, how? So if you don't know, I do quite enjoy being on stage, acting and singing. I would love to. I'm not really sure how I would do it. It's like the two things that I love. Probably maybe like a panto style thing. Like I've seen stunt companies and things do these pantos at Christmas, where they'll have the horses out and do like a demonstration in like a pantomime style, so following a story. And then I guess I could sing and act in that. If that was a possibility, I'd go for that. Are there any famous horses, past or present, that you'd like to own and why? So I'm not really that bothered about horses that are famous. There's none that really, I mean everyone would love to have a ride on Vallegro, but I wouldn't really want to own him, I don't think, because I don't want to ride to that kind of level. When I was younger, I really loved the film Black Beauty, like every young horse girl loves, and I really wanted to own Ginger. It wasn't about Black Beauty for me, it was about Ginger. So maybe in a way that dream has come true. Little side
No, mine and puzzle sessions are going to be very slow for a while, but I'm confident that I've got the right thing now, and this is actually what we need to do, isn't it? She's finding it herself, it's just going to take a while. So the next question, in an unimaginable world where there are no equines, what job would you like to be doing? Wait, what job would you be doing, or what job would you like to do? So probably coming off of the first question, maybe I would go into theatre. Ever since I kind of got into theatre, I said it's something that I probably would actually really enjoy as a career. The only reason why I wouldn't go down that route is because if I wanted to really make it, I need to be somewhere like London, and it's kind of hard to own a horse in London, and I'm not willing to give that up for anything, so it's very unlikely to ever happen. But yeah, if I didn't have horses, then that's probably the route that I would have gone down. Next question, if you had the power to change just one thing in the equestrian world, what would it be? So for me, I would say competition rules. I don't compete myself, but I do think that competition is one of the biggest influences in the horse world. People look up to competition riders, and what they do is what the rest of us will do, kind of thing. And I think unfortunately a lot of the rules are very outdated, very old-fashioned, and I think horse welfare should really come a lot higher in the rules, and also probably a different kind of version of welfare as to what they think that is now. Actually really looking at the kind of tack that people use, the kind of methods people use, not just what you see in the ring, actually how they've got there, because unfortunately you can force a horse to do a lot, and to me, as a horse behaviourist, I can kind of tell when a horse has been forced to get there. Not always, but usually, so I think the judges should actually be trained. That's what I would probably go for. Whether it's ever going to happen or not, I don't know, but that's what I would change. Puzzle and I are going to go for a little wander around the fields now, so we'll do some more questions later.
Oh, she's so cool. We had a lovely canter. I'm going to show you that actually right now. So that was really nice. We did then I nearly fell in the pond because a duck flew out of it, so she like jumped to the side. We were pretty close to the pond, and I was like, oh, you know, that awkward moment where you're like hanging in midair. I stayed on, I did it, and she was fine after that. All good, I love her, she's just such a cool horse. So we're going to pop her back out now, and then I need to finish the stables, and then I'm going to do Ginger and Apollo, and I'll continue the Q&A. Gingy's turn.
So my next question, what are your thoughts on owning a Mustang? Training a Mustang that's had little human interaction has been one of my dreams, but would love your opinion, the obstacles involved, the most rewarding, etc. So that's kind of been a bit of a dream of mine as well, except I live in the wrong country really to adopt a wild Mustang. But yeah, just to be able to handle a horse from day one and really only put in what I want in there would just be amazing. So what I would kind of suggest is that, or what I would do is, before I sort of went down that road, I would make sure that I knew as much as I possibly could know. I know you never stop learning, but just really learn as much as you possibly can, and also get the physical experience as well of starting as many horses as you can that have been handled, and just getting some training in so that you really feel confident in yourself and what you're doing, and just have that experience, because there's things that a wild horse is going to do that you just probably won't be prepared for unless you've already trained a lot of horses yourself already. So I would go and learn as much as you can from somebody who's maybe done it already, and maybe work with them, and then start a few horses if you can, and then kind of decide if that's the route that you want to take. But yeah, I would just learn as much as you can. I think it would be the most rewarding process ever, but I don't think it would be easy. So yeah, that would be my advice on that.
I know I should have done this, should have quit this long ago. Can't stand another heartbreak, but it's time to let it go. It'd be easier for me.
So my next question is, how did you get started in what you do? So the reason why I started natural horsemanship was because I was looking after quite a difficult young horse, and I guess normal methods just kind of didn't work with her. So I kind of had to think outside the box. The first thing I saw was a Monty Roberts demo, and I was like, oh, this is different, maybe I'll try that, and it worked. And then I found Pirelli and sort of went through the programme of that. And then yeah, the rest is history really. I've just kind of built on it from there, and I think as soon as I kind of worked out what it was all about, I was just hooked straight away, and I've kind of never stopped being obsessed with learning. And then really it was Ginger who made me want to do this for a job, because although the horse that I said about was difficult, Ginger was a whole other kettle of fish, and he really challenged me. But I kind of realised actually how many people have trouble with their horses and have problems, and really wanted to help them, because I needed the help when it was me, and then obviously, you know, other people were going to need that help as well, so I thought I could be that person. So Ginger was the one who inspired me to actually teach.
If I turn away to flee, oh, but there's something holding on in the way of being long gone.
Good boy. Mr. Nosy. Okay. By the way, how good is his canter looking right now? I think that's the best it's ever looked. Very pleased with that. Okay, what is my next question? Oh, have you always loved horses? Yeah. Yeah, I to be honest, don't actually really remember a time that I didn't love them. I got into riding pretty young. And I've always been an animal person, just full stop, whether it was horses or other animals. I've just always loved them. But yeah, from the second I laid eyes on a horse, I loved them. So yeah, I think so. We can do another one because that was the short one. Oh, how do I get my horse to side pass towards me? So this is a training question. So I would, if I'm teaching a horse to come sideways towards me, I'm going to demonstrate it with Ginger, how you do it. Well, what it's supposed to look like if you've not seen it before, but what I would say is make sure that you have a purpose for it, so it's not just a trick, because it can become something that the horse will use against you. Use it for mounting or doing gaits or something like that, so that the horse has a really clear reason why he's doing it, so it's not just a trick. So what I would do is get your hindquarter and your forequarter yields really, really good, and then when they are amazing, what you can do is stand up on a mounting block or something and see if you can get your hindquarter and forequarter yields from being on the other side of your horse. Let's see if I can, yeah, does that make sense? So, and then on the hindquarters as well, from like a mounting block, so that you're up, you're not going to get trouble. And also you've got a little bit more height. And then what you do basically is put the two together, so then it should look something like this. And it's the same as when you taught your horse sideways away from you, that you did the front end, the back end, the front end, the back end, and then put them together to create both. But what you're aiming for is to get it so that your horse comes sideways like that. Concentrate. Good boy. Good boy.
time to wake up, time to wake up. I'll try so hard to fade away, but something's forcing me to stay. It'd be easier for me if I turn away to flee. Oh, but there's something holding on in the way of being I'm gone.
So our next question. Are you reading it? Our next question is, I had a lot of questions that were kind of based on what my plans are for the future, like my 5-year plan, all that kind of thing. So really, it's just to kind of continue from where I am here. I'm quite happy with what I'm doing at the moment. Everything's great, so I haven't got like huge changes to make. I've obviously got some goals. I would like to do more sort of young horse development stuff, young horse starting. I would like to obviously do more clinics and things here, which are in the pipeline anyway, so that's great. Yeah, and just keep developing myself, and I feel like things kind of come up when you need them and at the right time. So it's not that I'm waiting for something to happen, because everything's kind of great at the moment, but I also don't have huge goals right now. I'm sure something will come up in time, but right now, yeah, just kind of keep going from where I am.
Turn away to flee. Oh, but there's something holding on in the way of being I'm gone.
Why does he keep doing this? So the next question is actually about what I'm doing with Apollo today. Well, kinda, I would fix it in the same way as what I'm doing with Apollo. So the question is, how do I get my horse stronger in his upward transitions? He tends to throw his head up and hollow his back and doesn't want to go forwards. So I wouldn't say Apollo really, he doesn't throw his head up, but he does hollow his back. And he does have the tendency to not really want to go forwards all that much. He quite likes to kind of bumble along, like la la la, not really using himself properly, and that's his homework from the chiropractor. So basically what I was doing, well, actually before I answer it properly, the first thing you want to work out is why they're doing it. So if there is likely to be any pain there, especially if it's a new behaviour, then obviously get your vet to check them, your chiropractor and your dentist, make sure that everything is good. And then after that you want to work out, is it because it's like a physical limitation, like they need to, like with him, he's just kind of got used to doing it that way, so he physically needs to build up and be stronger. Is it a mental thing, or they're just kind of being a bit lazy? Kind of try and work out what it is that's causing it, and then I try and kind of work with the individual horse to find the answer. But generally what I would say is, if you're struggling with your forwards transitions, kind of think about doing the opposite. So what I would do is get their back up really good. So like you can see what I'm doing with him is backing him up before I ask him to go, and what that does is it just engages their whole body, because what we can be really tempted to do if our horse throws their head up is to try and kind of pull their head in and down, but actually that kind of will have the opposite effect. So if you want your horse to go forwards and engage more, or just engage more and actually drop their head and round up over their back, everything that you do kind of needs to come from behind. It's not actually anything to do with their head at all. So the first thing that I would do is get them backing up really good, and getting them backing up really well, where they're kind of tucked in, rounding up over their back, really engaging their hindquarters, and then stop them and then ask them to go, but like a big ask, like go with everything you've got. And that's why I would start it on the ground, because they might come out with a canter and a buck and things like that, and that's fine, but you'd probably be best to do it on the ground first. And then kind of let them go. So at the moment I'm letting him go for literally half a circle, then I'm stopping him, backing him up again, asking him to go, half a circle, stopping him, backing him up, blah blah blah, until I feel like it's really improved. But hopefully what you can see with him is that it's really kind of driving some energy up and forwards. So rather than him kind of hollowing and dipping his back and throwing his head up in the air, everything's kind of collecting up, like his whole back is coming up, and that's what you want. That's going to be the thing that gets that real engagement from your horse. Okay, I'm really hoping everything's fine. So my camera just fell over and then it was like, do you want to recover your data? So let's hope that you have actually seen some of today's vlog. Let's try again.
I'm gone.
Obviously he's still in very early days at the moment. We only started doing this yesterday and that's kind of enough, but hopefully you can see that at the end he really got some real power behind him, and even he was like, whoa, where's this coming from? So again, that's why I would do it on the ground first though. Hello. Okay, so next question. Where are we? La 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 la. Oh, do you want to compete? If you heard that, do you want to compete? No, to be honest, I have absolutely no interest in competition. That probably sets me apart from a lot of riders that do it professionally. I'm just not a competitive person. It's just not something that really interests me. And as I said in one of my earlier answers, oh, hello. If you be any more in the way, good boy. As I said in one of my earlier answers, I just don't agree with a lot of the rules and things with competition, so it's just not something I would want to really sort of be a part of. Really, my thing is just always horse development, horse behaviour. The only reason why I would take a horse to a competition is if it was like for the horse's sake, to develop it further. If it's something that the horse's owner wanted to do or something like that, then yeah, I would do it then, but that would all only be for the horse's sake, never really for me. I'm just not a competitive person. I'm going to do the next one as well now, which is what was Ginger like to ride. So if you don't know, Ginger's retired. He's been retired for about 6 years, so I just do groundwork with him now. But when he was ridden, it's very kind of up and down. He was really difficult in the early, well actually no, he was really good in the early stages, and then he became really difficult. We had a lot of issues together, and then he became amazing. And Ginger was actually one of the best horses I've ever ridden. He's just got so much heart and talent, and he's just amazing. But there is actually a vlog somewhere on this channel, a little while back, I think it was last summer, that tells Ginger's story, and it will all be explained in there, so please do go and last question that I've got is how to solve the spooky corner. How do you solve the spooky corner? So a lot of horses and people seem to have this problem. A lot of yards seem to have a spooky corner in their school that most horses won't go in, or maybe it changes depending on what horse you're on. But yeah, it's a really common thing. So How I would solve it is, first of all, really kind of take care of my horse's thresholds. So find where the point is that he's happy to go up to and don't push him past that. And what you want to do is just stretch him gently over that threshold and to make sure that corner becomes part of his comfort zone rather than just pushing him in. So I always try and think about it like if it was something that I was scared of, how would I build my confidence? By someone forcing me to do it, or someone taking my confidence seriously and sort of gently, slowly getting me confident with it. And I think that's what I'd prefer. So yeah, so take care of your horse's thresholds, make sure that you know where it is and don't push him past that. And then what I would do is ride my horse or play with him everywhere else. So basically as far away from the spooky corner as you can get, do everything there and keep your horse moving. And then when you feel ready, take your horse onto the threshold, so on that point where he starts to get a bit nervous, and let him rest there. And I mean proper rest, so stand, loosen your reins, you know, drop your reins, let him just stand and relax, give him a treat if you want to, all that kind of thing. Just don't expect anything of him when he's in that corner. And then when you feel like he's relaxing, take him away and put him to work down the other end again, so that he does all of his work down that end and then comes to relax on that threshold. And then eventually that threshold will become a spooky corner. It will get closer and closer and closer, and in the end you'll be able to just ride up to the corner and relax there, and he will start to see that corner as a really nice place to be, and then eventually it just won't be a problem and you can continue your ride. So Apollo and I have finished our session now because we've got some really good stuff today. Good boy. I hope you've enjoyed our Q&A. Please do share it, subscribe, like it on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, yeah, subscribe to us on YouTube, like it on YouTube, etc, and we will see you next week. Say goodbye, Apollo. Oh, I thought he was actually going to come to the camera then. Come on, say goodbye, just don't knock it over.